What if I told you AI is doing way more than just writing emails or making funny pictures? It's actually stepping up as a massive global defense system for our climate. Let's get right into why Google's AI-powered climate modeling is an absolute game changer right now, and how it's completely rewriting the rules of environmental action.
Get this. Recent data shows AI actually has the potential to wipe out 5 to 10% of global greenhouse gas emissions by 2030. Now, I know 5% might sound like a drop in the bucket at first glance, but hold on. Just that 5% equals a third of total U.S. emissions. That is huge. We're talking about massive, tangible drops in our carbon footprint, all achieved just by processing information smarter.
So, Section 1, the data problem, and how we actually connect our Earth with the economy. Look, historically, getting usable Earth data was a total nightmare. It was trapped on fragmented servers, required heavy coding, and honestly, you basically needed a PhD and a supercomputer just to open a file. But today, it's the exact opposite. We are literally drowning in data. Millions of satellite images and sensor readings are beaming down every single second. So the problem isn't getting the info anymore, it's figuring out how to actually harness that overwhelming flood of data into something we can use.
And that brings us to something called geospatial analytics. Basically, this is the fix. If we cut through the jargon, it just means taking hyper-precise environmental data and slapping it directly onto a map of our human assets. Think about mapping real-time climate variables right over factories, farms, and highways. It's all about pinpointing exactly where the natural environment collides with our physical infrastructure.
Okay, moving on to our first major breakthrough, unlocking the climate engine.
So how do we actually do this? Well, there's a platform called Spatiafy, built by Climate Engine, and it is a total beast. Powered by Google Cloud, specifically using Earth Engine, BigQuery, and Vertex AI, it acts as the ultimate bridge. It takes those insanely heavy Earth datasets and snaps them onto specific asset locations instantly. You don't have to wait weeks for models to run anymore. Organizations can monitor a specific highway or a crop field in near real time, seeing exactly what's happening before, during, and after a storm hits.
Which naturally leads us right into the next huge leap, predicting extreme weather events. For the longest time, guessing the weather meant relying on heavy, slow physics simulations. Supercomputers would literally just grind through complex math equations for hours. But deep learning models are completely flipping the script here. Instead of running formulas, these AI models look at visual cloud and weather patterns from pixel mosaics, almost exactly like the human eye does. Since they skip the raw physics, they are insanely fast, way more efficient, and surprisingly dead-on accurate. This unlocks a wild concept called nowcasting. Check out this timeline. Using a Google model called MetNet2, meteorologists can predict rain down to a 1-kilometer resolution, updated every 2 minutes. So you input the data now, and you get hyper-accurate short-term forecasts 2 hours out, solid reads at 6 hours, all the way up to a 12-hour window. It is basically a high-def radar for the immediate future.
And if we want to look even further ahead, Google DeepMind has Weather Next, which pushes that warning window out to 15 days for extreme events. Think about why that matters. A 15-day buffer gives a business the actual time they need to protect their physical assets, safely evacuate their people, and totally reroute global supply chains before a disaster strikes. We go from scrambling in reaction to playing offense.
All right, let's move to concrete real-world impact, because this isn't just theory anymore.
Enter spatial finance. This is literally where the money meets climate reality. It's all about hardwiring real-time, location-specific environmental data right into financial risk management. No more guessing with theoretical spreadsheets. It forces markets to price in actual, observable, physical risks.
Michael Torrance, the Chief Sustainability Officer over at BMO, hit the nail on the head here. He says the next century of weather isn't going to look anything like the last. Relying on historical data and just assuming the future will look the same, it's basically obsolete now. The past just doesn't work as a blueprint for a changing climate. To put that into practice, BMO is actually using Spatiafy right now to track local biodiversity and emissions at mining and factory sites. This is a massive shift. Instead of a bank just trusting a company's self-reported paperwork or guesswork, they use real-time satellite data to verify it from space. You say you reduced emissions? Cool, the bank is going to verify that from orbit before they hand over a green loan. And it's hitting our everyday lives too. Carrier teamed up with Google Cloud to make home heating and cooling systems way smarter. By using AI to predict energy demand, they can link together thousands of home HVAC batteries across a whole city. They all charge and discharge together like a single unit.
This essentially builds a massive virtual power plant that kicks in to stabilize the grid during peak times, preventing blackouts and dropping energy costs for everyone. But wait, there's more. AI is also hunting down our future power sources. Project Interspace and SLB are using AI mapping tools like GeoMap to pinpoint global geothermal sites. We are talking about a clean, always-on energy source that has the potential to meet our entire global electricity demand 140 times over. It's literally right beneath our feet, just waiting to be mapped out and tapped into.
So, bringing it all together, the ultimate big takeaway. Here's the bottom line. AI isn't just sitting around running theoretical climate models anymore. It is actively turning fragmented, messy Earth data into a real-time defense system for our future. The tech is here. It's watching, it's processing, and it's predicting right now. The only question left is, how is your industry going to adapt to this new predictive reality?